Okay, let's unpack this. You're thinking about a family trip to Pench Tiger Reserve, coming from Nagpur, and it's the whole family, right? Young kids, a teenager, elders too. The goal is that amazing safari experience, but trying to dodge the usual tourist traps.
Right. And you've given us a good mix of sources: YouTube vlogs, booking sites, TripAdvisor, the official park website, safari timings. Quite a lot to work with.
Exactly. So our mission here is basically to stitch all that together into a practical plan, something that really works for everyone, from the youngest to the oldest in your group.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the different sources, they actually line up pretty well on some key things. It makes tailoring a plan a bit easier.
Good. So, first things first, getting everyone from Nagpur to Pench.
All the sources agree. The official site, the vlogs, booking info. Nagpur's your starting point. Closest airport, closest major train station.
Makes sense. And from there, cab seems to be the way.
That's the standard recommendation, yeah. Hiring a cab's about, what, 75 kilometers using NH44? That popped up in a vlog and a booking site mentioned it too. Okay, 75 clicks. But one of the vloggers mentioned something interesting about the drive itself.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Something about passing through a wildlife corridor with signs for animal crossings.
Ah, right. And didn't they mention those wildlife underpasses on NH44?
Yes, exactly. Apparently quite impressive, built specifically so animals can cross safely. They even saw cameras monitoring them.
That's fascinating. And it kind of sets the scene, doesn't it? Shows you're entering an area where wildlife is really prioritized.
Yeah. And practically speaking, for your group with different ages, a direct cab seems like the least hassle, right? Just get everyone there comfortably.
Definitely the least tiring way to kick things off.
Okay, so travel sorted. Now, when should you actually go?
Well, the consensus is pretty strong on this one. The best window seems to be between mid-October, say October 15th, right through to the end of June.
The initial website says that.
Yep, and the booking sites back it up. That's the main season.
And definitely avoid the monsoon, July to September. Absolutely. Parks close then. Every source mentions that closure, so that's crucial for planning. No safaris then.
Right. Okay, so sticking to that October to June window, what about the weather? I saw mentions of temperatures varying quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially mornings in winter can be surprisingly chilly, like down to maybe 7 degrees Celsius.
Wow, okay. Need jackets then.
Definitely. And then the afternoons warm up. So packing layers is key for the kids, the elders, everyone in between.
That's really practical advice.
And, thinking about the mix of ages,
Mm-hmm.
maybe aiming for those shoulder seasons, like early October, maybe November, or late February into March.
To avoid the extremes.
Exactly. You'd likely get more comfortable temperatures overall, which might be better for keeping everyone happy on those safari drives. Not too cold, not too hot.
Good thinking. Okay, so timing considered. Let's talk gates. Choosing the right entry gate seems like a really big deal.
It is, yeah, because Pench is spread across 2 states, Madhya Pradesh, often called MP, and Maharashtra. Each state has different gates.
And the MP gates are things like Turiya, Karmashiri.
Right, Turi, Karmachiri, Jantara,
Okay.
those are often mentioned as the core zones on the MP side. And then in Maharashtra, you've got Salari, Krusapar, Torbahuli, also core areas.
And this is where TripAdvisor gets interesting. People were saying Krusapar and Salari in Maharashtra can be good for sightings.
And I think one review specifically mentioned Salari might be a bit less crowded and maybe easier to get bookings for.
That sounds good, especially if you're trying to avoid feeling like you're in a huge crowd.
Totally aligns with avoiding that tourist trap feel. But the big piece of advice that came up repeatedly.
Don't try to do too many gates.
Exactly. The distances between them can be huge, anywhere from a few kilometers to like 100.
Wow, okay.
Trying to hop between them, especially with young kids and older family members, it just sounds exhausting. Better to pick one side, MP or Maharashtra, pick a gate there, and focus.
Makes total sense. Stick to one zone, and we absolutely have to mention the weekly closures. That's crucial.
Oh, definitely. You need to check those carefully. The Maharashtra gates have specific closed days. Kursapur is closed Tuesdays, Salari on Wednesdays, Chorbahuli on Mondays.
And wasn't there something about Wednesdays on the MP side, too?
Yes, good catch. Afternoon safaris are closed on Wednesdays in the MP zones. So you really need to check your travel dates against these closures.
Yeah, wouldn't want to show up and find the gate shut. That'd be a disaster.
Precisely. Planning around those is key.
All right, so you've picked your dates, avoided the closure days, chosen your gate. Now, the big one, booking the actual safari.
And the message here is loud and clear from basically everyone. Book online and book in advance.
Especially peak season, October to June.
Absolutely. Permits are limited for each zone, each safari slot. They sell out.
And you can book pretty far ahead, like 120 days.
That's what the booking sites indicate, yeah. Up to 120 days. So once you know your dates, getting those bookings sorted should be a top priority.
And stick to the official websites, right? Not third-party sellers.
Definitely. There are official Forest Department websites for both Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra bookings. The main booking portals usually link you directly. That's the safest way. Avoids potential scams or issues. Exactly what you want if you're avoiding traps.
Good advice. And you need everyone's details for the booking.
Yep. Name, age, gender for every single person going on the safari. And this is super important. You must carry the original photo ID you used for the booking.
The exact same ID.
The exact same one. Aadhaar, voter ID, passport, driving license for Indians. For foreign nationals, it has to be the passport. They check it at the gate. No ID, no entry.
Okay, noted. Very important. Now the Jeeps, thinking of the family, are they private?
Typically, yes. The standard Jeep Safari booking gets you an exclusive Jeep for your group. Max 6 adults and usually 2 kids between 5 and 12.
What about under fives?
Often they're complimentary, but it's really best to double-check that specific policy when you book. Policies can sometimes change. And just a heads up, anyone over 5 counts as an adult for booking limits.
Right. 6 adults max, essentially.
Yeah. Now, there are shared safaris, like booking by the seat. It's cheaper, but you have to get to the gate yourself somehow.
Maybe not ideal with the little ones and elders.
Probably not. Honestly, for your group, booking the whole Jeep, even if it costs more, gives you so much more flexibility and comfort. You control the pace, stops if needed. Probably worth the investment.
Yeah, I agree. Makes sense. What's the rough cost for a full Jeep?
One site mentioned around 7,500 Indian rupees for a weekday safari in MP zones for Indians. Maharashtra might be slightly different. Best to check the official site for the specific gate and date you choose.
Okay. And once you book, can you change your mind?
Generally, no. The permits are usually non-cancelable, non-transferable, and non-refundable. That's standard policy.
So double check everything beforehand and confirm.
Absolutely. Dates, names, IDs, get it all right the first time. And plan to be at the gate maybe 30 minutes before your safari time. All the sources suggest that.
Got it. Okay, let's talk about the actual safari times. When do they run?
It varies a bit, state to state and season to season. Yeah. On the Madhya Pradesh side, during that main October to June season, it's pretty consistent. Morning safaris are roughly 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Evening ones, maybe 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
And Maharashtra, more variable.
Yeah, the timings there tend to shift more through the year. Like the example given was March, April. Morning entry 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., exit around 10.3. Evening entry 2.3 p.m. to 4.3 p.m., exit 6:03 p.m.
So you need to check the specific times for your dates and gate when you book Maharashtra?
Exactly. The timing info is usually listed on the booking or park websites. The general rule they follow is opening about half an hour before sunrise and closing half an hour before sunset.
Right, which naturally changes. Now thinking about the family again. Morning versus evening safari.
Good question. Morning means cooler temperatures, maybe better wildlife activity sometimes, but they can also be longer. Like maybe 5 hours, one vlog mentioned.
5 hours is a long time for a little kid. Or even an elder, maybe.
It can be. Evening safaris are usually shorter. Still good chances for sightings, just maybe warmer depending on the time of year. So it's a trade-off you'll need to weigh up based on your family's stamina and preferences.
Okay. Something to discuss as a family. Now, the experience itself. You're in the Jeep.
Right.
What's it like?
Well, the Jeep is your transport. And you have to have a guide with you that's mandatory, usually assigned by the Forest Department.
Can you choose your guide?
Sometimes. Some sources mention you might be able to pay extra for a more experienced or professional guide, but the standard is they assign one.
And you stick to set routes, right? No off-roading?
Correct. Routes are fixed.
Yeah.
And, keep noise down. It's a forest.
Of course. What about sightings? Lots of deer, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Deer are common. Your guide will likely be focused on tracking tigers, maybe leopards. That's usually the main goal.
And tiger sightings. Is Pench good for that?
Pench has a good reputation, a healthy tiger population. Sightings are never guaranteed. Of course, it's wildlife, it's luck. But the chances are decent. Leopards, too.
Okay. But again, thinking about the duration, 3 to 5 hours. Keeping the kids and elders comfortable is key.
Absolutely crucial. Which brings us back to maybe having that full Jeep. More space, control over brakes. It just makes managing a mixed age group easier.
Definitely seems worth it. Okay, let's circle back to avoiding those tourist traps and making the experience better.
Right. Number one tip, repeat it everywhere. Book official safaris online in advance. Avoid last-minute scrambles or unofficial agents.
And staying close to your chosen gate.
Smart move, yeah. Cuts down travel time, especially for those super early morning starts. Find a resort near the gate you've booked.
What about food? Especially if you're near a core zone.
Options right near the gate or inside might be limited. Most resorts will have food, of course, and some actually offer packed breakfast you can take on the morning safari.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, very convenient. Now, if you have extra energy after the safaris, maybe explore a bit locally.
Like that pottery village someone mentioned.
Exactly. Apparently just 10-15 minutes away. Could be a nice low-key cultural thing to do.
What about Ramtek? That sounded interesting, but further away.
Yeah, Ramtek with the temple, lake, fort. It's about 50 kilometers from Nagpur, so quite a bit further from Pench itself. Probably better as a separate day trip if you have the time, not something to squeeze in on a safari day.
Got it. And budget-wise, remember extra costs, right?
Good point. Guide fees, vehicle hire costs, these are usually on top of the permit booking fee, especially if you go for the full Jeep or a specialized guide. Factor those in.
What about other types of safaris? Elephants? Night safaris?
Elephant safaris came up, but the info suggests they're temporarily closed right now,
Mm-hmm.
so probably not an option. Night safaris are available, but only in the buffer zones like Rukad or Kawasa. Might not be ideal for the very young or elderly members of your group, could be late or a bit rugged.
Maybe stick to the Jeep safaris.
Probably wisest for this trip. The one other interesting thing mentioned was the dark sky oasis at Pench.
For stargazing.
Yeah. If the group isn't too tired after dinner, it could be a really unique experience getting away from city lights. Something different.
Cool idea. Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. What's the bottom line for planning this Pench adventure?
Well, it boils down to planning ahead, doesn't it? Pick one gate, either MP or Maharashtra. Don't try to do both.
Book those safaris way in advance using the official websites. Check those closure days.
Definitely. And seriously, consider booking the full Jeep for your family's comfort and flexibility. Pay attention to the safari timings for the season you're visiting.
If you do all that, you're setting yourself up for a smoother, more authentic trip, hopefully with some amazing wildlife sightings.
Exactly. And remember, while seeing a tiger is incredible, Pench offers so much more. The landscape, the birds, the whole ecosystem encourage everyone to soak it all in.
That's a great point. Appreciate the whole experience.
For sure. It can make the trip much richer.
Okay, here's a final thought for you. You mentioned a 15-year-old as part of the group. Why not get them involved in the planning? Maybe they could research the different animals you might see or look into the conservation work Pench does. They could even help with the online booking.
Oh, I love that idea. It could really boost their engagement, make them feel more connected to the trip, and maybe the whole family learns more that way too.
Could make the whole adventure even more meaningful. So the question is, what incredible stories will you bring back from Mowgli?